If Jesus is God, how could he die? And if he died, who was running the universe during those 3 days? These are deep questions that touch on the very nature of God and the meaning of death. First, we need to understand that death, according to the Bible, does not mean ceasing to exist. The scriptures teach us that death is a separation, either spiritual or physical. Spiritual death refers to being separated from God due to sin, as seen in Genesis 2, verses 15 to 17. When Adam disobeyed God, he experienced spiritual death, separation from God's intimate presence. This separation continued throughout humanity, as seen in verses like Isaiah 59 verse 2, which tells us that our iniquities create barriers between us and God. Physical death, on the other hand, is when the soul separates from the body. Yet even in physical death, the soul remains conscious. For example, in Hebrews 12 verses 22 to 24, the spirits of the righteous are described as being in the presence of God. James 2 verse 26 also reminds us that the body without the spirit is dead, but it doesn't imply non-existence. Now, let's apply this understanding to Jesus. When Jesus died on the cross, he experienced both spiritual and physical death. Spiritually, he was temporarily separated from the intimate communion with the Father as he bore the sins of the world. Physically, his soul departed from his body, which was laid in the tomb. However, neither type of death means that Jesus ceased to exist. In John 2 verses 19 to 22, Jesus foretold his resurrection by saying, "Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up." The temple he referred to was his body, and he declared that he would raise it himself. For Jesus to raise himself, he had to be alive and conscious during those 3 days. Furthermore, in John 10 verses 17 to 18, Jesus emphasized that he had the authority to lay down his life and to take it up again. This authority shows that even in death, Jesus was in control. His divine nature and human soul were still alive, sustaining the universe alongside the Father and the Holy Spirit. So, to answer the question, Jesus, being fully God, did not cease to exist during his time in the tomb. His divine nature remained fully alive, sustaining all creation. As God, he is eternal, and death could not hold him. The universe was never without its creator, even for a moment. In summary, death in the Bible is about separation, not non-existence. Jesus' death on the cross was a moment of profound sacrifice, but it did not mean that God ceased to exist or that the universe was left unattended. Jesus, even in death, remained the living God, victorious over sin and death, and sovereign over all creation.